Yes, you've read the title. I'm reading the Declaration of Independence. Huh. This is not going to be fun, but this is what I do. Random stupid stuff. So let's do it. So in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the anonymous Declaration of the 13th United States of America. When it is in course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and assume to among the powers of the earth the separate and equal to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitled them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, is the right of the people to alter or abolish it, and if institutive new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as they shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness, produce indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for the light and transist causes, according all experience hath shown that mankind have been more disposed to, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government, to provide new guards of their future security, such as the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessary of which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of present King of Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object of establishment of absolute trinity over these states. To prove this, let the facts be submitted to a candid world. He has refused his assent to laws, the most wholesome and necessary for public good. He has forbidden his governors to pass laws of immediate and pressing importance, unless suspended in their operation till his assent should be obtained, and when suspended, he utterly neglected to attend them. He refused to pass other laws and for the accommodation of large districts of people, unless those people would relinquish the right of representation in legislature, a right inestimable to them and formidable to tyrants only. He has called together legislative bodies and at places unusual, uncomfortable, and distant from the depository of their public records, for the sole purpose of fatiguing them into accomplice of his measures. He has dissolved representative houses for opposing with many firmness his evasions on the right of the people. He had refused for a long time after such dissolutions to cause others to be elected, whereby the legislative powers, incapable of an annihilation, have returned to the people at a large for their exercise, the state remaining in mean time exposed to all dangers of invasion from without and cultivations within. He has endeavored to prevent the population of these for that purpose, obstructing the laws for naturalization of foreigners, refusing to pass others to encourage their migrants. I'm just gonna say immigrants. Immigrants hit her. Immigrants hit her, and rising the conditions of new appropriations of the lands. Oh my god. Come on, OBS, see this still? He has obstructed the administration of justice by refusing his assent to laws for establishing judiciary powers. He has made judges depend on his will alone for the tenure of their offices and the amount of payment of their salaries. He has erected a multitude of new offices, and there hid her swarms of offices to harass our people and eat out of their substance. He is kept among us in this time of peace, standing armies without the consent of our legislators. He has affected to render the military independent of our superior to civil power. He has combined with other subjects to jurisdiction foreign to our Constitution and unacknowledged by our laws, giving his assent to their acts to pretend legislation, for quartering large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them by mock trial, from punished for any murders which they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade with all parts of the world, for imposing taxes taxes on us with our consent. I lost where I was off track because I was scrolling the page. We'll just say he has made judges dependent on his will alone to enter their office and payment their salaries. He has erected multitude of new offices at their offices or has eat out, yeah. Sector military. He's combined with other subjects duration. No. Come on. He's combined other subjects duration foreign to our unconstitutional, unacknowledged by our laws, recording large bodies of armed troops among us, for protecting them in mock trial from punishment for any murders they should commit on the inhabitants of these states, for cutting off our trade of all parts of the world, for imposing taxes on us without our consent, for depriving us in many cases of benefits of trial by jury, for transporting us beyond seas to be tried for pretended offenses, for abolishing the free system of English laws in our neighboring province, establishing therein an arbitrary government, and enlarging its boundaries so as to render it at once, for example, to fit instrument for introducing the same absolute rule into these colonies, for taking away our charters, abolishing our most valuable laws, and altering fundamentally the forms of our government, for suspending our own legislators and declaring themselves invested with power to legislate for us all cases whatsoever. He was abdicated government here by declaring us out of his protection and waging war against us. He has plundered our seas, ravaged our coasts, burnt our towns, and destroyed the lives of our people. He is at times transporting large armies and foreign mercenaries to complete the work of death, desolation, and tyranny. Already began with circumstances of cruelty and perfidy and scarcely paralleled into the most barbarous ages, and totally unworthy of the head of the civilized nation. He has betrayed our fellow citizens, taken captive on high seas to bear arms against their country, to become their executioners of their friends and brethren, or to fall themselves by their hands. He has excited domestic insurrection amongst us, and has devoured to bring on the inhabitants to our frontiers, and mercenary Indian savages whose new rule of warfare is understanding destructive of all ages, sexes, and conditions. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be a ruler of the free people, nor have we been wanting in attentions into our British brethren. We have warned them from the time of attempts by their legislator to extend an unwanted jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of circumstances of our immigration, immigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and have conjured them by the ties of our common kindred to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and constituency. We must therefore acquaintance in necessary which denounces our separation, and hold them as we rest the mankind enemies in war, in peace friends. We therefore, the representative of the United States of America in General Congress assembled, appealing the Supreme Court of the world to regulate our intentions due in the name by the authority of the good people of these people of these colonies, submissively publish and declare that the United States are and without free independent states. They have absolved the alliance to the British Crown and all the political connection between them and the state Great Britain is out to be totally dissolved, and that is free independent states that have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do, and the support of the Declaration of firm reliance on the protection to divine provide, we mutually pledge to each other's life on the fortunes of scarce honor. Yes, got it done. I don't know what the purpose of you guys watching that would be, but I read the Declaration of Independence. Oh, I gotta get a drink. So yeah, all right. That wasn't as bad as I thought. I looked it up online and it said it'd take 18 minutes, but that was a little less. So yeah, I gotta go to sleep. I'm making dumb ideas. Just subscribe, like, thank you, bye.